life, your relationships. Love, there's nothing more beautiful in the world than love in its purest form. Fake love can cause you harm when giving your love to the wrong one. True love comes.
Love, Jones. Life, love, and relationships.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Love Jones, the space where we talk all things life, love, and relationships. I'm your host, DJ, and you're tuning in to episode 2, Long-Term Love, Keeping the Spark Alive. Now listen, falling in love is beautiful. It's magical, intense, even cosmic sometimes. But keeping the spark alive over the months, the years, that's where the real magic lives. The spiritual love, the chosen love. And today we're diving deep into what it takes to not just stay together, but to thrive together. Let's be real. Infatuation is easy. The early stage butterflies. Everywhere energy can feel like the highest high. But here's the truth. That spark is not meant to last in that form forever. What lasts isn't the spark, it's the flame. And the flame is slower, steadier. It doesn't light fireworks every day, but it keeps you warm at night. The flame is built through shared experiences, deep emotional intimacy, knowing each other's scars, and choosing to love anyway. That's the number one thing. Choosing to love anyway. So if you're listening right now and thinking things don't feel like they used to, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could mean your love is evolving, and evolution is sexy when you know how to tend to it. Let's get into the how, because love, like a garden, needs watering. And no, I'm not just talking about date nights. Though those help too, I think date nights are very important. Honestly, date nights is a must. However, here are 5 ways to keep the connection alive in long-term love. Stay curious about your partner. People change. Every few years we shed layers, we shift priorities, we have new dreams, we chase different things. So keep asking them, who are you today? What excites you now? What can I do to help you? 2, prioritize presence over performance. You don't need grand gestures all the time. Put down the phone. Look them in the face. Listen to them, not to respond, but to really feel how they feel. Rekindle playfulness. Flirt like you used to. Send a random "I'm thinking about you" text. Dance in the kitchen. Laugh at lightness. It's oxygen for love. Number 4, keep growing individually and together. A stagnant relationship often mirrors stagnant individuals. Feed your own soul so you can pour from a full cup, then grow something new together. A business, a dream, a habit. These are some things that really keep the relationship together when you guys are individually growing and then growing together. Number 5, touch, talk, be vulnerable. Intimacy isn't just sex, it's safety. It's the ability to be your raw self and still be held. When was the last time you really saw your partner? Not just like a role, but as a human with dreams and fears. What do you miss about how you used to connect with them? Or how might you bring back a piece that actually have you feeling like, I really, really need this, or I really, really miss you? And how are you showing up in love the way they want to be loved? Not you, but the way they want to be loved. So today, guys, I did invite someone I trust deeply to walk us through, how to keep that spark alive, long-term relationships, long-term marriages. And this person is very, very dear and near to me. I've been knowing him all my life. He is my go-to source when I just need that additional guidance. I need that additional assistance in everything in life, somewhat a mentor. And for once upon a time, I called him so much to ask questions. Like, I wouldn't make a decision until I contacted him first, until he was like, hey, you got to make your own decision. So I am introducing, hello, Daddy. How are you doing?
Hello, Destiny Jones.
I'm doing well. Well, I just want to thank you for joining in today with my podcast. I kind of wanted to do an episode about, long-term marriages, long-term relationships, how to sustain them and how to keep them alive. And I was just like, who can I ask to join me? Who could be my guest? And I was like, there is nobody better than you. Like, I feel like I've watched you through the years, sustain a relationship and a marriage. And I'm just like, what does it take? Like, how do you get there? What are some things you need to do?
Well, one of them, one thing you can't do is you can't stop working at it. It's like having a job, and you have to find a way to work at it. But if you work at it and have clear communication with one another, and sometimes you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes and look at it from their perspective, because if you were raised up a certain way, you have this certain thought in your mind, and I had to learn this over the years as I got older, that I'm not always right. So one thing is sustaining, you have to always work at it. It's like having a job. Well, it is a job.
Right. And I completely understand that. Like, it is something that you have to continuously put that work in, time after time. But what's one thing that you feel like you had to learn, and not just feel like you had to learn in order to like keep your marriage strong over the years?
Good question, but I think just based on my experience, I had to learn to fight fair.
Okay, when you say fight fair, what do you mean?
Well, if you're going to have a disagreement, I don't care how much you love one another or how much fun you have, disagreement going to come. That's just part of life. But you have to fight fair. You disagree with respect. And, don't start criticizing and blaming folks for the situation and doing attacks and bringing up past stuff and stuff like that. That's not fighting fair, because that's not the situation that's beforehand. So I learned to fight fair disagree with respect, listen to the other person, don't be blaming a person being critical of a person action and attack them personally. So I really had to learn that. That's something that, because I had like an ego, and that, if you got into it, then I hold certain stuff, and I will attack you with it, and then I'll bring it up, and so that's not fair. And so that's one thing I really, really had to learn. And I'm not ashamed to say that I was that way, because I learned from that way. So I thank God for that. But that's one thing that I really think people ought to do, because you yourself, it probably been times when you had a disagreement with your other significant whatever, and you brought up something. Well, you did this, and then I remember you did that. Now there you go. So and the disagreement ain't about what you really disagreeing about, because you just want to have started throwing blind punches, so to speak.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. I think for me, I had to learn to be quiet, because my mouth used to be real slick. And even though I kind of felt like, hey, these are facts I'm telling you, but sometimes when you are in a relationship or a committed exclusive partnership, like, just because this is how you feel doesn't mean you need to speak it up or bring it up when you're in an argument, because the way your tone and the way you bring things up might be offensive to your partner. Yes, I know. I had to learn that.
Yes, so that's why I use the little term, seek to understand, putting yourself into the other person's shoes and try to see things from their perspective. That works real well, because men doesn't really think like women think, and women sure don't think like men. So sometimes what is big to you all is not big to us. And then what is big to you is not big enough. So you have to learn and put yourself to look at it from their perspective so you can better understand where they come from, what they're saying and stuff. You know, I had a bad, what I say goes, and you listen to me, and you know, I brought a lot of religion in it. Now, let me say Christianity in it, and when you do that, when you read the scripture, when you throw them at people like that, you know, you kind of like setting yourself up to win. You know, when you're supposed to submit to me, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, but you never talk about what the man never say, what he's do. So I think, back to what I said at first, it's a job, you can work at it, you need to find time to have one-on-one with each other, you need to do things together, you can sit down and plan things out, and because, you know, you can get tied up in the world of work, if you're in the church, you can get tied up with that, and you can get tied up on your job and not spend time, and you can be together for a long time, but it don't necessarily mean that you together.
Right.
You know, you can, 20 years can pass by and you look up and y'all haven't did nothing but routine stuff, nothing with one another, you didn't do no date nights, you didn't sit down and talk about this, you didn't put no plans together and stuff. And so that's why I tell people, I think we have to work at it, and you have to try to find time for one another, because you can get consumed up in this noisy world, and you, even though you spend a lot of time together, you're really not together.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up, because my next question I wanted to ask you, and this is something that I struggle with in my long-term relationship, like, because we can get consumed with self or, you know, other things we have going on. So how do we like reconnect when we feel like emotionally distant or just out of sync? Because over a period of time, I just be like, after a week, I'm like, okay, this ain't working. Like, what we doing?
Yeah. Well, you know, you have to. First of all, I think the two people should share the same goals, or at least share goals, and then do like what you call teamwork. You know, work together on their goals to achieve them. You know, bond together as partners. You know, that you can. If it ain't nothing but just like buying a house, you sit down and talk about it and look at it and stuff. And I think that we don't do that. I think we make, even married people that been together, I think man make decisions and then you just tell the wife and she can go along with it, or wife or do some stuff. And I think it's not enough communication. My opinion. Not enough communication in relationship, because you can't get to where you're doing something and they get repetition to you and you're really not happy. You're not sad, but you're not happy. If that makes sense.
Right.
It ain't, you know, you're not sad and you're not happy. You just kind of like in between, going along with it and stuff. And if you keep doing that, you'll look around 5 years go by, 10 years go by, 12, 7, 8 or whatever. You look up back and you say, this ain't working. Then you look up and say, well, I wasted 8 years. Well, I don't necessarily know if you wasted it, if you learned from it.
Right.
You know.
And that also goes back to like when you're just in a relationship and you know you do spend all those years, like how do you, and I know like the topic of the discussions right now is basically just on, you know, what makes those long-term relationships in marriage last. But there comes a time when you do sit back and be like, is this worth continuing?
Yeah, because you have to look at it, honey. My grandparents, man, they were married, I want to say 50-something years, something like that. And I was there, some of us, though, I didn't see 50-something years of goodness. That was in that generation, and whatever was going on, they worked their way through, communicate, they talked about it. See, a lot of times when you have this disagreement, you got to look for problem solvers, solutions. And most times you go into it, you don't have a solution, so you just, like you say, I think being quiet is okay, but sometimes I think being quiet is not okay, because that means you're not communicating.
Right.
So I think if you don't have the right thing, you want to say, and the Bible, it teaches us that if you ain't got nothing good to say or a solution, then be quiet. But being quiet can also not be too good. So I think that I think that we listen to the world too much, and the world real noisy, and then sometimes I think we bring too many people into our situation instead of us to two people that's into it or trying to sustain a marriage, instead of them sitting down, communicating and talking about it and trying to find a solution. I think that's the way you go. Me myself, let me add this. Something else that I learned. I had to learn to put the right referee in the middle of my arguments, and that referee was Jesus. But I did that, but he showed me I ain't always right.
Right.
And that was one of the hardest things I dealt with, but I accepted it because I had the right referee, and I know he's never wrong. So I would tell people, try that, and you'll find out you ain't always right and you're wrong, because he's not going to take sides. He's just going to give it right. So I advise people to try that,
Okay, and so now what happens? Okay, you've been married, you and Mama Betty, you guys been married for what, 17, 18 years?
No, it's been 20.
20 years already? Well, dang. Yeah. Okay, so you guys been married for 20 years. Has there ever came a time where either you felt like it or she felt like it, that y'all are growing in different ways? Because people do grow. Like, in 5-10 years, you grow, you're different, than how you used to be.
Yeah, sure. Especially when you have certain expectations that you want to do, and you share them, and sometimes it seems like that the other person ain't really putting what you think they part into it, and you be like, man, I'm just wasting my time and stuff. I need somebody to come on with me, but you have to understand that person don't see everything you see, and then so that's why I said you got to have communication. You got to sit down and talk about it. Listen, this is what I'm trying to do. I need your help or whatever. I need your help to go this way, and I need to go this way. What do you think? And so when you do it like that, it seems to get both people in together. But if you don't have that communication in it, then you'll start like getting a gap in between it, and you can see it. You can see it, and sometimes you'll say something. Sometimes you just like, well, I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna do this. And so when you do that, you're not addressing the issues, and it started building, and so that's when you see people that been together 40 years, and then all of a sudden somebody said, well, they got divorced. After 40 years? Well, they might stay together.
Right.
It's to be there,
Right. So. Okay, so my last question that I'm going to ask you. If you could go back to year one of your marriage, so 19 years ago, what would you have whispered to yourself, and what would you say?
It's a good question. If I was could go back
to year one,
what would I?
And you could whisper something to yourself, what would you say?
Help me, Lord.
Help me, Lord. Okay, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yep, because what people, people can say, they'll make it seem like it's all so great, and then it could be great, but I just keep going back there. You have to really work at it, and I have a lot of good times. I have fun, and me and Betty laugh, and we joke, and all that kind of stuff. We travel and stuff like that, but we worked at that. It didn't just happen. We worked at that, and so what I would say. If I went back there, I would say help me love, because you really need that help in any situations.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you. I know this is like just a short episode, and I was just really trying to get myself together because I've been so busy with a lot of different things, and I was just, and I go through my own little things too as well, as far as relationships too, and I've been going through a little something the past week or two, and I was just like, oh, I'm just not in the mood. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like, especially when you have dedicated a piece of your life to making a relationship work, it's just kind of like, do you continue, or do you just say, okay, definitely, like, help me, Lord, put it in God's hand and let whatever be whatever, and just focus on yourself? Or do you just keep trying? Is it just like it's not working today, but you got to go to sleep and then wake up and say, okay, I'm going to try again today? Is that a continuous thing that you're going to have to do?
Yeah, I would say, but it depends on what you are saying. Okay, like, if you look at the situation, especially if you're not married, and you're trying to see if y'all want to build something together. See, first of all, you have to look and see, is you and this person mindset is not got to be the same, but going the same way. Are y'all trying to build a life together? Because see, you actually is saying that you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person.
Right.
And to be honest,
and Daddy, sometimes that's a choice. Like, I believe in love. I do. I believe in love, the sparks and everything. But I'm more of a person where I'm like, I have chose this person to spend, to grow with, to build with.
Yeah.
This is the person I'm trying to spend the rest of my life with. Now, if God say different, then hey, God says different. But at that moment, I'm making that decision to be with this person through it all.
Yeah, you making a commitment to build a lifetime together. This is the person you choose to share your goals and values and stuff for a lifetime. And so, and when it look like it's not going that way, and you started trying not going that way, well then I don't like to tell people to give up or nothing like that, but you know when something's not going to work because y'all have that, what you call it, intuition. Yeah,
the woman's intuition.
Yeah, y'all have that, and then another thing, I think two people ought to not do is try to change one another.
Right.
I think that's one thing that we make, because I think you should really find out how the person is while you so-called dating, going out to dealing. You should always practice on studying the person that you plan on spending your life with. Now, I know my wife, but she didn't study me. I'm a studier, so I study people around. So you have to know what a person will and won't do, and so that's by studying them. And so I think that is very important too. But I really, sometimes you can just get tired of it. You just want to throw in the towel like you do in boxing.
Yep. No, you throw the. I don't know. I feel like I be throwing the towel in. I'm like, okay, give me the towel back. I'm gonna try a little bit longer. Throw it back, and I'll be, because I do reflect on a lot of things of, like, love is the script, taking it back to the Bible. Love is unconditional. And I just have to understand that there are definitely going to be days where I might not like that person. I might not agree with, some of the things that person is doing or saying. But if I, in my mind and my heart, chose to continue to ride with this person and in a partnership and do life with this person, then I have to understand that it's not gonna always be perfect. But what if it's multiple like months of not being perfect? Oh no. I'm like,
the thing about that, what you said you can love a person, but you might not like. But see, like come before love.
Right. Right.
You know, now you might not like the way that person is behaving and acting and going on at that time. So it ain't just really that you don't like that person. You don't like what that person are doing or what they are not doing.
Right.
Like you say, love is unconditional, but some people say they love this person, but they have stuff attached to it. They handsome, or they cute, or they fine, or they build, or they got money, or they got prestige. They got that. See, that's not unconditional love because something attached to it. Unconditional love is you love that person regardless.
Right.
And so that's where I think in society we get this love thing worked up, and you don't really have to work for love because love really is already in your heart.
Right. Of course you have to work to keep it, keep the marriage or the relationship together, but you don't have to work for the love. The love is there.
It's in them.
Yeah.
It's in them. And so, well, the relationship can be great. It just, you just have to be careful on who you choose.
Yeah.
Who you let choose.
Yeah.
These days, you have our private conversation. I tell you, do resume, do background.
Right. Background checks, resume. Yeah. Who he used to date. The mama.
Get them up front. You got to talk to my daddy.
You got to go through the daddy. I might allow you to meet the brothers and, other families, but when you go to daddy, if it's a no, it's a no-go. All right, daddy. I definitely want to thank you for coming in today. Do you have any last inspirational words or anything that you would like to say?
Yes, I would just say, well, if anybody is having a marriage problem or they not, I would just say, work at it, try to find solutions to whatever problem you might have. And if you're not, problem just keep doing what you're doing. But I think it's a good thing. I'm real, real proud of my daughter. I pray whatever hurdles closed doors come her way, I ask that the Lord move in her behalf. And I'm very proud of her and I'm happy for her. And I will say, once you're in the Jones family or the Tolliver family, you never get kicked out.
You'll never get kicked out. All right. That's it for this week on Love Jones with your girl, DJ. Thank you for joining us in this heart-centered space. If this episode gave you something to reflect on, share it with your partner or someone you love. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Love Jones Podcast, LLR. And until next time, love isn't something you find, it's something you nurture. Again, I'm your girl DJ, and this is Love Jones. Be gentle with your heart, be fierce with your love. Always keep God first, and always lead with love.
There's nothing more beautiful in the world than love in its purest form. Ain't love can cause you harm when giving your love to the wrong one. True love conquers, love's wonders for every man and woman. Never playing for the drama. Love run controls the learn from. Love, life, relationship, discussions with Love Jones. Covering more than companionship, but talking with Love Jones. When everyone gone, you feeling alone, you have Love Jones. Love, life, and relationships with Love Jones.
Love Jones. Life, love, and relationships.